sisi sote. Tunasonga mbele watu wote
wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote
wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu.
Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie.
Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri,
sote
eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri,
sote
eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele.
mwaka wa 60 umefika,
Tangu Kenya iwe huru.
mwaka wa 60 umefika,
Tangu Kenya iwe huru.
haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie.
Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri,
Sote
eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri,
sote
eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda
kweli twaenda mbio,
kokote,
Kenya yaenda mbele,
kokote,
kwa elimu twaenda mbele,
kokote,
matibabuni twaenda mbele,
kokote,
viwandani twaenda mbele,
kokote,
na mashambani twaenda mbele.
kokote,
Eko
eko Jamhuri,
sote,
eko Jamhuri,
eko
eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri,
eko
eko Jamhuri,
sote.
eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Kenya nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Ziwa la Victoria linaunganisha Kenya na Uganda, Kenya na Tanzania. Fika Mombasa, mito wa bahari, ogelea maji, jua tamu kuota. Nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Kenya nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu.
PPMC Production.
Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Twajivunia sana tukijiita wa Kenya, nchi yenye baraka, Kenya nchi yenye baraka, Kenya nchi yenye baraka, Kenya makao yetu ni nchi ya kupendeza, kamwe hatutaiacha, kamwe Kenya hatutaiacha, kamwe Kenya hatutaiacha. Mwenzangu
Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima.
Kenya kipenzi chetu, nchi yenye upendo, hatutaacha Kenya daima na milele.
Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima.
Yes, Kenya hinji tunayoipenda. I know a lot of people in this country love those patriotic songs. Of course, if you're patriotic to this country, then you know that you always need to listen to these songs because they give you that momentum to always live in country Kenya. If you have moved out of this country, then you know that Kenya is one of the beautiful countries that you will ever stay, and you will enjoy that freedom. And of course, it's 10:07 East African time, wherever you're tuning in. Remember, this is your top political show that happens here every day. And we are going to have this discussion here for the next few hours as we discuss some of the top stories. And also, remember to always keep your eyes tuned in Afrique 24. You're following us in Facebook, you're following us in other social media platforms. This is Afrique 24, sister station to Mutembei, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel there. We also have a lot of news there, and we are going to give you those news in the next few hours. This is a political discussion. My name is Boniface, and as we pioneer our today's show, I want to welcome you wherever you're tuning, wherever you're following this conversation, because you're going to have one of the best political discussion as we discuss some of the issues that is affecting our country, Kenya. As you remember, Kenya is our country, and we should always protect our nation. Where are you tuning in from? Tuning in from East Africa, Kenya. Tuning in from United States. I have a lot of followers from United States of America, followers from United Kingdom, UK. And if you're following us for the first time, remember to always subscribe. That is the only way you can support this channel. You subscribe to our YouTube channel, because here we got a lot of news, and also we have a lot of shows that happens here. Politics is a daily bread in this channel, but we also have sports shows that happens here every day whenever we have sports activities. And of course, our country Kenya has failed to qualify. Kenya has failed to book a spot in the AFCON 2025 that will happen in the city of Marrakech, Morocco. There is a bit of glimpse on what is going to happen in the football arena. So where are you tuning in from? I have shared the link there, so you can join us through the link that I have shared there, and you will be entertained. I'm very sure by the end of the 2 or 3 hours, you're gonna entertain you in Afrique 24. You subscribe to our YouTube channel, Afrique 24. That is the only way you can support us, and we have a lot of news there. Afrique 24 is the channel, so is our sister channel. Go there, like, comment, and subscribe. But of course, the state of nation is gonna happen. And Kenyans, I was listening to some of the Kenyans in the streets of Nairobi, and Kenyans are saying that it is high time that we focus with building our country. We focus with making sure that Kenya moves to the next level. But the state of the nation is something that is going to happen tomorrow. Kenyans are planning to go and do that thing. I don't know what is that thing, but of course, you know what happened during the Gen Z protest, whereby the Kenyans were in the street trying to reject the finance bill. The Kenyans were in the street trying to reject some of the incompetent CS. And of course, this pressure, it is the one that made the president of the Republic of Kenya, that is Dr. Samoei Ruto. Of course, I refer to him as Samoei Ruto because that is the title. When you are a leader in the college, you have to get the Samoei. So he was forced to disbandle the entire CS. Now we have the new CS. We have the new government, broad-based government. We have the new DP after Gachagua impeachment, which took a very short period of time. Now we have few things that are happening in this country. Still, the shift of NHIF to SHA, Kenyans are complaining. The shift of NHIF is affecting some of the Kenyans who were already registered, but it's mandatory for you to register. That is what the government is saying. It's mandatory for you to register. I have also been joined by Akal Simba. Akal Simba, I have you in the studio. I'll be inviting Akal Simba here. I was introduced to Akal Simba by my good friend Benja, and I'm very sure as we discuss the state of nation tomorrow, then we are going to have a good time. So remember, this is your daily show. So wherever you're following this conversation, we welcome you so that you can join us and you can also have this show as you book your spot in Kenyan politics. And of course, the state of nation is the discussion today. As we held tomorrow, Kenya, East Africa, we unlock stories in Africa 24. Joined by my good friend Benjamin. And of course, I want to start with Akal Simba. Akal Simba, welcome to Africa 24. You tell us where you're joining this show from. And of course, you give us a bit of intro of what to expect tomorrow as Kenya's heir to the state of nation. I think Akal Simba is on mute. My good friend Benjamin, where are you tuning from? And please, yes, Akal Simba, I can
Yes,
see you have.
hello, hello.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm watching live, reporting live, and conversing live from Nairobi, Nairobi region, Nairobi, Kenya, Nairobi County. Thank you, thank you.
Perfect, perfect. We welcome you for our today's show as we pioneer. My good friend Benjamin, welcome. Give us your intro, of course, before we start the show. Timely today.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi.
Yes,
Watching live
hi, Benja.
watching live from Kisumu. Niko tu hapa Kisumu town. Thank you.
Perfect. I have my good friends here, Simba and Benjamin, as we start our show. And of course, we have the state of nation that is going to happen tomorrow. And I was following some of the conversation, wherever I pass in between the gentlemen, ladies, I always listen to what they say. And today I was just passing by in the streets of Nairobi. I saw some of the gentlemen discussing the newspapers, daily newspaper, the Star, and also the Standard. We have different newspapers in this country, and the main topic was the state of nation. Just want to ask Ekal Simba. Ekal Simba, because we have the state of nation that is going to happen tomorrow. What is your take? Do you think that our country is in the right direction after the 2022 general elections? 2022 general election whereby Ruto, who is the current president of the Republic of Kenya, took over. Now we have his government that is in power. Before we go to the state of nation, before we listen to what Kenyans have, do you think this country is headed into the right direction? And if no, you give us your sentiments. Akal Simba, it is your turn. Are you there?
I'm here. I don't know why it's so hard to unmute. Well, I've muted. Now, for political discussion, basically we are revolving around everything status quo politically. And as a matter of fact, we are aware that politics shapes the socio-economic table, or rather in broader discussion, the economic spectrum of Kenya. Speaking of which, the current political decisions, both macro and micro decisions that have been made since the coming into power of the current regime, the Kenya Kwanza regime, and of course, broadening their wings to incorporate their ODM brothers, has really brought about some vital change. I don't think that any normal or rather sane person in Kenya right now would not be waiting or rather having positive recur from the Kenya Kwanza regime, because you cannot tell me that people have been in power for the last 2.5 years and there's nothing constructive that they've done for the people of the Republic of Kenya. Weighing the negative side and the positive side, the fulcrum will lie more on the negative side of the Kenya Kwanza regime, because they've not done anything constructive worth talking about. You've seen, and these had been exhibited in the past. In 2023, we saw the Azimio brigades going for protest, try to demand some change. People used to call it the Sufuria movement. Then we saw the Gen Z revolution, trying to demand change. And this clearly exhibits that in each and every corner of this country, everybody is suffering and people need change. So there is no iota of evidence on the table of economists that we are going to experience anything positive in this country. Everything is facing downward trajectory at the moment. They are going to hire bloggers on social media to come and post the prices of items going as low as the amounts they exhibit for us to see. But on the ground, things are different. So the only change right now for the people of the Republic of Kenya is to make sure that explaining to the same, the people who are disturbing us are the old folks. I've not seen any young folk in this current regime. These are all KANU brigades. Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula, William Ruto, the recently impeached Rigathi Gachagua, Kindiki, though he joined up late. All those are KANU children. And to bring in change, we need fresh blood in Kenya. And that is why, even if we decide to hit the streets today, it is not easy to remove president through that kind of a process that the Gen Zs were trying. Of course, we tried. We were on the streets 24/7. But the country is being controlled by a mafia group. The president and his committee, these are oligarchs. They've been in power for the past 30 plus years. They know the game. They understand the corners and the right buttons to press to make sure that you are not going to go against them. We've experienced people being abducted, people being killed. So that is the current political status quo that we are experiencing in Kenya. And the only way, I saw some youth saying that they are having some protest again tomorrow. It is not going to bear any fruit. At this moment, we have to speak facts. Let us not speak to impress the people. Because I was one of the people at the forefront of the Gen Z Maandamano. And for that one, it was organic. And that is why you saw a lot of people going to the streets. Anything that comes up after that Gen Z protest in the name of Maandamano is not organic. Those are monetary activists planning their own ways of getting money from international organizations or rather international entities. The only way the Gen Zs, or rather the young people, or rather all Kenyans at large can change everything that is happening now is through the ballot. And remember, also beating Ruto through the ballot is very hard. Because one thing we have to agree, for Ruto to win the 2022 presidential election was not easy. Beating an incumbent president who is supporting someone is not an easy thing. They used to call it the system and the deep state. It was not an easy thing. It was seriously calculated. So for him to win, it was not coincidence. It was seriously planned. The only way to beat this guy is when the young people decide to take their votes. Remember, in 2022, 8 million young people took their votes, but they never casted. Vijana hawakwenda kupiga kura. They did not go to line up. It's only the old folks, our parents, who went to vote with emotions. Remember, those people vote with emotions. The young people did not vote. 8 million spoiled votes. Now, these 8 million votes, plus the young Gen Zs who've recently taken their identification card, statistics have indicated that there are around 12 million. 12 million consolidated with the 8 million who did not vote, that is 20 million fresh votes. and that is the total number of young people aged between 18 and 35 in this country. 20 million who did not vote, and the ones who are currently taking their identification cards. 20 million fresh votes can send William Ruto home. And again, another thing, it's not about sending the president home. You see, this problem is not starting from the presidency. Look at where I come from, the Luo Nyanza. I come from Luo Nyanza. And before they joined the broad-based government, Gladys Wanga is my governor, a woman of serious PR. Before they joined the government under the broad-based system, they were not working for people. It is only looting. They are on a spree to loot the counties dry. Reason they'll use to defend themselves, hatuko kwa serikali, hatuna pesa. And remember, counties are under a state where people pay tax to work under the devolved system. Counties are devolved, meaning county is its own government. So money is being pumped into these counties. Whether you are in the national government or not, you are supposed to work for the people. So this problem is not only in the presidency alone. You see, right now, the mistake that people are making in Kenya is that thinking that if they oust Ruto out of State House, things are going to be okay. No. Things start being okay from the grassroots level. You start with your local MCA, because remember, MCAs are also being funded. They have their own CDF. The members of parliament in the constituencies are also being funded. They have their own CDF. We also have the senators with their own CDF. The woman rep have her own CDF. The governor have the bursaries. They also have the county bursaries. If you go to the presidencies, the presidents also have the CDF. They also have the bursary. You come to the ministers. The ministers also have their funding for bursaries and all the other developments that are needed. So this problem is not only with the president alone. If people want change, change starts from the grassroots level. Because you will not tell me that there is a young man in the lower endings of Kanyamkago village in Migori who has the ability to lead people but is being denied a chance because of some minority complex things that people don't want to talk about. So for us to change things, we should not vote on the basis of parties. And we are not supposed to vote on the basis of mtu wetu syndrome. You're supposed to vote on the basis of, I know this guy is going to help. These are his agendas. He's supposed to deliver. We've done a serious statistics on his past and what are his plans for the future. Somebody you can sit down with and sue if they do not deliver to the people. So although there is going to be a serious wave of protest next year, as a serious political analyst, I've sat down and I know next year we have serious protest, and if the president do not plan well, he clearly might be the first president to be ousted out of office through revolution. Because, which we are also going to discuss, of course, if we have time, why I think there is going to be serious protest. Otherwise, for political discussion, and if I think the economy is going to be any better, the economy is not going to be better. The only thing we are going to experience until 2027, if the president is going to survive, is a serious looting spree against the taxpayers and Kenyans as a whole. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, Ekale Simba, and we are happy to have you here. You have really spitted a lot of facts. But from your sentiments that I've listened to, you have really given us some of the wise ideas about the state of the nation and what we are experiencing in this country in terms of politics, in terms of Kenya Kwanza government. But now you have stated something that is very key there. You think that Kenyan youth, they need to go and check their votes. Then by 2027, they go to vote, because we witnessed in the 2022 general election whereby some of the youth did not vote. Some of the youth, they had those votes, but they ignored to go to exercise their rights, you know. But now, who is this person? Who will the Gen Z vote for? Because the Gen Z are still confused. Who are they going to vote for in 2027 general election? Because still, we have not gotten someone who can represent the Gen Z, someone who can really go against William Ruto. Because, you know, you have also said that in 2022, William Ruto really struggled to win this election because, you know, the former president, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, supported Raila Amolo Odinga, and also, you know, there was deep state. I don't know who entails the deep state, but still, the fight was not very easy. You saw even during the presentation of that certificate by Chebukati, what happened in the Bomas. So a lot of chronicles really happened there. But now, who is this person who the Gen Z will vote for? And does this person has the right qualities to be the leader of this country in terms of uh, morals, in terms of ideas? You know, to be the president, then you need to be someone who can lead the entire country. Because Kenyans thought William Ruto will be the best person to lead this country. They said the Asla Nation is the ruling party. But now we have this Asla Nation whereby the common Mwananchi is still crying, is still asking, where is this Asla Nation? Was it a lie? Who is this person, if I can ask you? And does this person really qualifies to be the president? Because we don't, even me, I don't know who can be the next president if we don't have a leader. Of course, we don't have someone now. Who is this person from your own point of view?
Oh, okay. That is a very good question. You see, one thing about politics is that in politics, nothing happens by coincidence. And this is a bitter truth that people have to realize that if you see something happen in politics, it was well planned and calculated. And people who've been in politics for a very long time, who've mastered the art of politics, who can sit on the table and formulate serious, structured political mathematics, will work something out such that when you start investigating or question it, it looks like a conspiracy. It looks like it was by coincidence. It is not by coincidence. So, right now, this is not even the right time to discuss who can oust President Ruto in 2027. And this is a mistake that the Gen Zs make. You see, the government, including the president himself, these are people who make irrational decisions and they make it so fast. Let me give you a good scenario. You saw the state of Morara Kebaso. When Morara Kebaso that were launched by the president, they saw him as a guy who can lead Kenya. That is how fast these people make decisions. The young people, they are restless. They cannot stand they cannot stand under the sun from morning to evening to vote. Trust me. And these are training that they have to go undergo. They are so restless. They want things cheaply and unopposed. Right now, if you go on media to try challenge them on something a decision they've made, they are really going to work on you because they want things cheaply and unopposed without formulating plans on how to get it. Morara Kebaso is still a young man. He is formidable. He is a good person who can do wonderful things. But as a young person, I also know that he's still fresh for that thing. It is not an easy thing. It is one thing writing your plans, and it is another thing achieving them. You'll agree with me on this. So the Gen Zs made that mistake of trying to think that young decisions were making is the mistake of Okia Omtata. Remember, I would just be honest with you because I'm also in the field of politics and I know. To oust somebody like Ruto, you need serious machineries. Somebody who has the zeal and zest and ruthlessness and megalomania to oust this guy. You don't just start supporting somebody because they are famous or because they are abiding by what you are saying. Right now, there is one candidate that the Kenya Kwanza regime fears called Dr. Matiang'i Fred. They fear him. And let me give you a reason that you will know these guys fear Matiang'i. You see, Matiang'i is the only cabinet. All the other ones are dead. Us to the current government because he knows all the corners of this country. He knows the right buttons to press. He knows where to go and where not to go. And that is how he managed to maneuver out of the country without being spotted. The Kenya Kwanza regime is currently sponsoring hooligans to start pushing the hashtag Matiang'i for president so that they can know how do the people feel about it. Let me tell you, it's not Matiang'i sponsoring these things going on. It started initially, Matiang'i wanted to vie for president, yes, because we can remember in 2022, Raila Odinga was not to take Martha Karua as the deputy president. Raila Odinga was to take Matiang'i as a deputy president. But because of unchangeable circumstances and how people agreed on the table, he opted for Martha Karua, who did not even help him as well. Right now, the government is sponsoring, how do we call them? Bloggers to air out or rather post content relating to Matiang'i for president 2022. They are just testing the waters. They want to know how can the people react if they feel Matiang'i is coming back. And they've realized people are reacting positively. Because one thing, personally, I'm not supporting Matiang'i. I'm not his fan, by the way. I'm not a fan of Matiang'i because I know what Matiang'i is capable of. He's a rigid man. He's very dangerous as well. See, somebody who's served in the ministry is not 27. We ought not to make this decision right now. This is a decision that will come as a last hour's rush because what I know as political calculations, Raila is going to lose AU. This is one thing I know about the same. So as far as I support Raila, his chances of clinching the AU seat probability right now is 0.5, though the social media bloggers are bringing up rate cards that Raila is leading with 54% based on the current president he has talked to. You see, things change in politics. And as far as I know, that man Raila, this is his bedrock. ODM is his game. This is where he feels home the most. When he has a lot of crowd around him and he's lecturing them in Kitendawili, that is what Raila loves the most. When he's doing political brokery, that is the food of Raila. Now you want to tell me that Raila is going to leave Kenya to go and sit in some building in Addis Ababa formulating discussions without even press conferences, because for an African Union's chairman, you don't even do these press conferences. Your work is to sign documentation, have meetings in the UN, come back to Africa. You don't even have a lot of things that you are doing. You're just seated there. I don't think if that is the kind of life Raila is going to choose. Raila is a man who wants to be active all the time. He wants to be felt. He is a Sigma male. And for that reason, let people not be surprised when Raila loses the AU seat willingly. Not that he's going to lose because he wants. He doesn't lose because he wants. Because if Raila has been in this game, he knows when he's going to be defeated and he knows what to do about it. So when Raila comes back next year, things might change. Cabinet secretaries for Kenya Kwanza, they're not even active there. Let me give you a scenario. Why would John Mbadi start campaigning to be governor for Homa Bay County and is the cabinet secretary for treasury? Meaning there is something going on. It's either Ruto is playing a long con on Raila or is Raila playing a long con on Ruto. Because as a matter of fact, in 2022, it was also a long con that Raila came to lose that election. It was just a long con, and people don't want to agree with me on that. But I will tell everybody every day that Uhuru played a game in the 2022 elections against Raila. I was there, I know all that. But I cannot justify my sentiments. I started by saying these are just political mathematics. So for the Gen Zs to start thinking about somebody who can oust Ruto, no, they should not even think about that at this moment. It is still very early. It's very, very early because next month, you see, the time frame for being, how do we say this? The time frame for being popular in Kenya is only 2 weeks. Morara became popular for 2 weeks, he disappeared. Kia Omtata became popular for 2 weeks, he then again disappeared. Matiang'i is currently popular. People are fronting him for 2027. He's going to disappear as well. But I know all these people are going to come back again in the late 2026 to now start official grounding for the 2027 general elections. Let me give you the team that can beat Ruto in 2027 because now that is the question you asked. The team that can beat Ruto in 2027 is Ndindi Nyoro is leaving President Ruto. Gachagua left President Ruto, meaning Mountain is consolidated. Kindiki does not even have power over the mountain. Even the Mount Kenya region people do not even like him. All those things you see that Kindiki is being supported, all those things are just sponsored by Kindiki. In fact, where Kindiki comes from, he does not even consolidate an eighth of a quarter of Mount Kenya votes. He did not deliver as you think. He's just there because he's a yes sir guy. If he's told Kindiki sit down, that is why you see him standing like a bodyguard in front behind the president, and he's the deputy. That is the kind of a person Ruto wants. So if Ndindi Nyoro leaves United Democratic Alliance today, he is obviously going to go join Gachagua, and he is already with Gachagua. This has been exhibited because he even refused to vote to the impeachment process of Gachagua. He refused. That is Mount Kenya votes is already sealed. If you come to Luo land, this is now where the problem comes from. In Luo land, there are only two ways. Let's put it aside that Raila decides to back up Ruto for 2027. Raila decides to back up Ruto for 2027. We still have a chance with people like Matiang'i. If Matiang'i decides to come back today, remember he is famous. He knows what to tell you and what he knows who to log out to win elections, because these log each other out during electioneering period when they feel you are a threat. We saw with the issue of during that time, Matiang'i was there when the IBC guy was logged out, Chris Musando. So you get Matiang'i on this other side. You get Kalonzo on this other side. You get Babu Owino from Nyanza on this other side. And then now they start consolidating for coastal region and Nyanza region. At the Luya region, wachana nayo, they are never united. You see, you can win elections in this country without the Luya elections, the Luya votes. Those people are never united. You see, Luya is the tribe in this country that has a lot of clans. And by the way, when I was doing investigation sometime in the past while I was studying in Luya land, that was in high school days, that is when I came to realize, kumbe Waluya hawaongei lugha moja. They are lawyers but lugha zao hazielewani. Kuna wale wanafuata Tuoli, kuna wale wanafuata Wetangula, kuna wale wa Mudavadi. Lawyers are never united. Nasikia sijui wale wa Bukusu walisikizani na kina nani. So bringing lawyers under one unification. Yes, kuna wanatembea tawe movement. Unaona sasa? But for Kisses, you had Simba Arati saying when he was campaigning in Kisii, no, he was having some rally in Kisii, I think a month or two ago, saying that this guy, they are going to front in Matiang'i for 2027. Because Raila stood with them, Raila has chances of fronting in Matiang'i. So beating Ruto in 2027, you need those national figures like Kina Matiang'i, Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro from Mount Kenya. You need people like Babu Owino, because we've also seen scenarios where Babu Owino is forming his political party. Meaning that, what does it tell us? He is ready to split Nyanza into two. Luoland is going to be split because there are those people who are currently saying Odingaism is enough. with us. We are done with Odingaism. We want fresh blood. Meaning, if this young man consolidates himself very well and comes up with a political party, Luoland is going to be split into two. There are going to be the Odinga people who are the ODM, and then there are going to be the TB people who are the Babu people. Meaning, this guy still has chances of contributing to the presidential election of 2027 at least 35% of the votes from Luoland. You get that right. But put that aside, let us now use the factor that Raila loses AU next year. What is Raila going to do after he loses AU? Somebody who always likes to be active, he wants to be felt. He will have to make a statement why he lost AU. That is the Baba we know. Baba will never lose and he doesn't make a statement. He will come back in a serious wave to make a statement to the people why I lost. And remember, whenever Baba makes a statement, somebody must be a sacrificial lamb. Someone has to go down. It has been exhibited in the political spectrum since time immemorial. Raila will never make a statement to justify himself. Na wache hivyo. Someone has to go down. He must throw that baton to somebody and blame game ianze. Who is the easiest person Raila will blame when he loses AU? Obviously Ruto. Because who is funding him? Who is fronting him for AU? How do you want Raila to blame Gachagua? Gachagua is not even in space. How do you want Raila to blame Kalonzo? How do you want Raila to blame Kindiki? He can't blame Kindiki. Kindiki is not in space. How do you want Raila to blame Ichungwa? Ichungwa didn't even vote. He is likely to blame Ruto. And Raila, he is always very intelligent. He knows the timing game and he always hit the snake head. The top of the movement, that is where he hits. If he blames Ruto, that Ruto did not deliver as promised for him to win AU, what do you think people from Nyanza will say? They are obviously, all of them are going to shift. And that now answers your question why Mbadi is campaigning to be governor of Homa Bay 2027, because he knows he can lose that treasury anytime. He's not going to be there forever. That is why he was recently campaigning. 2 days ago, he was in Dewa constituency, campaigning seriously for governor Nairobi 2027. I mean, Governor Homa Bay 2027. So, chances are very high that Raila and Ruto might split apart if Raila loses AU. Unless, now that is option 2. Of course, if he leaves Ruto, now that is another problem. You see, people think that if Raila leaves Ruto next year, that chances are now very high that Ruto is going to lose. In fact, let me tell you, Ruto is a political master chaser. And he might decide Raila to lose so that he wins 2027. You see, if Raila loses AU, Ruto is likely to win 2027. Let me explain to you why. Baba is somebody who likes to be active. He wants to be felt. After losing AU, he will not just sit down. Even after 2022, people said that this Mzee is now going to bond. Then boom, all of a sudden AU comes in. After losing, Baba will declare his candidature for 2027. Trust me. He will not just sit. In fact, he will not front anybody. Raila wants to be on the helm. He wants to be seen. If he declares his candidature for 2027, Ruto is going to win. Do you know why Ruto is going to win? There is something in this country called political tribalism. Even though we are lying to ourselves that people are not going to vote on the basis of tribalism in 2027, I will always say the truth that our Kikuyu brothers from Mount Kenya region fails us the most. Kikuyus can vote anything except Raila. In fact, if Raila is on the ballot with a donkey, they're going to vote the donkey but not Raila. They normally call him names during electioneering periods. Electioneering periods, you'll hear these people say that Raila is a mganga, whatever, and those are the reasons why he'll not vote. They can't vote for Raila. So if Raila is on the ballot with the Ruto 2027, even though Raila will have consolidated a team that is so powerful to beat Ruto, Kikuyus are going to vote in Ruto to punish Raila, and that is how Ruto is going to win again. After Ruto wins, the procedure comes back again, another handshake. That is another way. Or These people might plan another long con against the people of Kenya. You see, Raila is another cunning person, very cunning. Raila might just decide to lose the AU because he knows that if he vies against Ruto, Ruto is likely to win. They can plan that Raila and Ruto, both of them, vies for 2027 presidential bid. They are on the same side but on different tickets. So that Raila loses, then Ruto incorporate him in the government, like what they did recently. This thing was long calculated kitambo. Wachana na Gen Z protest, watu wanasema Gen Z brought up the broad-based. Nothing like that. They were just waiting for the right time to attack. So we still, that is why I'm telling you that the card, this is a house of cards. The house of cards is shaking, and we still don't know who can easily oust this guy. Remember, as we are also planning to front somebody who can beat Ruto in 2027, don't think that he's sleeping in State House. He's also planning how to beat your person you are trying to front. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. So the only way is we go red. For the 20 million who did not vote, we try all we could as we wait for the right candidate come 2027. Thank you very much.
Carl Simba, that is something that has really educated Kenyans. Really, you are spitting a lot of knowledge, and we are happy to have you on board. You have really talked about a lot of things, and you have really stated them in the right way. But here is the question. Of course, Matiangi has been in the government and he knows every direction that he can win these elections, any direction that he can press William Ruto when it comes to the general election in 2027. He has been silent, of course, since William Ruto took over the government. We have never even seen Matiangi having a press. He is silent. He is acting as a silent man. But of course, yesterday we heard Benjamin the show, and he told me that Matiangi can be the worst than what Ruto is doing. But now we have new leaders in this government. Of course, we heard there were some rumors whereby after the impeachment motion, whereby Gachagua was impeached, and now we are having the members of parliament who voted for no for the impeachment of Gachagua in the parliament. They are having those issues that anytime they can be impeached. After Gachagua was impeached, we saw he has never relaxed. He just went to Madeira and he has been having this press all over, having these church meetings, talking. And we heard him the other day saying that if Gachagua then was the problem, then the government now, the Kenya Kwanza government now, it is your time now to deliver because Gachagua is no more. We also saw him saying that let the youth go and take their votes for 2027. Do you think that maybe those rumors, rumors, I don't have any info to scrutinize this, but we hearing that Gachagua might come together with Kalonzo. The Eastern region and the Mount Kenya region might come together. We know during the 2022 general election, personally, I never knew Gachagua. But after Ruto brought him to the limelight, now we are having a very powerful man when it comes to the politics in this country. Gachagua is now famous. Of course, wherever you go and speak of Gachagua, then they will tell you the impeached DP of the Republic of Kenya. He has been so vigilant into this politics of the Republic of Kenya, speaking about tribalism, and of course, he was impeached because of speaking the truth. Also, some rumors that anyone else who really supported him is going to be impeached. Now, the question comes here. Do you think that Kalonzo Musyoka might come together with Gachagua? Because you said Ndidi Nyoro might collaborate with Gachagua, but now these are the rumors that there might be a wedding whereby Kalonzo come together with Gachagua, and now they will form a lethal coalition that will shake William Ruto in 2027. Can this really happen? And do you think this one can give a competition to William Ruto? And of course, William Ruto is still planning for 2027. It's not just staying in the state house, just eating, doing development, but now he's still focusing. He has the methodology for 2027. Do you think that Kalonzo Musyoka might come together with the Gachagua and Can these people work together for general election 2027?
Ah, yes. Now, you see, the issue of Kalonzo is that is unpopular opinion. This is just unpopular opinion. Kalonzo is never a man to trust. Personally, the reason why I'm saying this is he normally waits for the right time to join you when he knows you are in a quagmire. And he is a man who uses people, by the way. So people think Kalonzo is a diplomat. He is not even a diplomat. And we can even remember in 2007 what he did against his ODM brigades. You see, by betraying ODM to rush over the other side, that is how Wiper Democratic Movement came to be formed from Orange Democratic Movement. So Kalonzo is right now, he knows that Gachagua is desperate. It is an art of politics. He normally clinches on you when you know you are desperate. He knows Gachagua is desperate. And what Kalonzo is trying to do, because he also has interest for 2027 presidential bid, Kalonzo is trying to consolidate Mount Kenya votes. You see, one thing people have always understood is that Mount Kenya, they tend to have a certain behavior that if you stick with them when they have a problem, they're going to stick with you when you need them the most. So Kalonzo knows right now, as far as people are pretending that Mount Kenya is not under Gachagua and people don't like him, the people of Mount Kenya listens to Gachagua. And the moment Gachagua will roar and tell them we are moving left, they're all going to move left. Trust me. Kalonzo has known about this already and is really trying to help. That is why when you saw Gachagua being evicted and all those kind of things, he was always with him. So that he's trying, and whenever he was going to meet Gachagua anywhere, you will see cameras around, a lot of PR. He wants the Mount Kenya people to see, I'm standing with one of your very own. Well, I need you. You make sure that you will come. That is what Kalonzo does. He has exhibited this in the past. So the marriage between Kalonzo and Gachagua is not genuine. It is not. Gachagua might be genuine welcoming this guy to the mountain, but it is not genuine. In fact, at this rate, even Kalonzo himself has to be very careful because he does not know what these people plan. You see, mtu ambaye umeenda kwake haujui anakuplania nini, lakini yeye ashajua kwa nini umekuja kwake. That is always the bad thing about this world. So Kalonzo does not know what Gachagua is planning or what is planning against him. But Gachagua knows what Kalonzo is doing. If I am able to know that Kalonzo is just playing a Mickey Mouse game to try get some 2-3 votes from Mount Kenya because of sympathy, do you think somebody like Gachagua, who was a first-class honors in political science, does not know that? Of course he knows. So the marriage between Kalonzo and Gachagua is not genuine at all. And another person who can never become president in this country is this one same Kalonzo Musyoka, even though so many people are hyping him. I don't know whether, Boni, you are a fan to Kalonzo or rather you are supporting him, but Kalonzo can never become president in Kenya. One thing, Kalonzo has never won any election in this country. Apart from the election which he won in Ukambani as a member of parliament during his prime days, and that election as a member of parliament, he won it on a KANU ticket. See, during that time when you are under KANU, Moi would just come there and tell people to elect you, and that is how he was elected. And Moi decided to give him the throne as the Kamba spokesperson. And now the Kamba King, I have sat with him in his current office, Wiper headquarters. He is not consistent. That is what is failing Kalonzo since time immemorial. He's not so consistent. Kalonzo will go today to in a place like Nyamakima and do a very good political rally. And then tomorrow is in Naivasha. And then the third time he goes to a place like Kirinyaga and then he's tired. That is all. He will go to 3 places consistently, then he's tired. He's not consistent. You see, all the positions that Kalonzo has gotten, he has been appointed. He was once a vice president, he was appointed. He's become a minister, he was appointed. He has never been elected anywhere since he was elected as a member of parliament because of Kanu. He didn't even campaign. It was just a sympathy election. You see, during those times, when you are learned, that guy was learned, a young lawyer, Wakamba people saw, oh, this is one of our very own, a young learned lawyer who has been fronted by Mzee Moi. Mzee Moi has seen light in this young man. Let us give him vote. During that time, people were also not so learned. Huko mashinani, Ukambani, watu wako wamesoma sana. So Kalonzo got that kind of opportunity. Aliona hapa, hii ni tabia alianza kitambo. Anaangalia, oh, Moi needs Kamba, wacha niende nisimame. So Kalonzo has never won any seat and is never going to win any seat. He's going to get old, they must leave, they must go. So I'm not in support of Kalonzo, whether he's going to support Gachagua or not. Whichever party I'm going to be in 2027 or whichever coalition I'm going to be part of, that is not a problem. That I know some people are never going to be presidents in this country, and one of them is Kalonzo. Based on his political tactics, I know he's never going to be president. And the marriage between Gachagua, there is no marriage there. Let it not in, I don't know which terminology to use, but there is no marriage between Gachagua and Kalonzo. It is just another long con for sympathy votes for Kalonzo to consolidate Mount Kenya. He's not even going to get 5 votes from Mount Kenya, leave alone all these things. Is Gachagua is going to, if Gachagua has been betrayed, right now that guy is a walking red flag and he has anger issues. He's going to log out anybody who is going to stand in front of him to challenge him. Because a man who has sat on throne and has been overthrown by people he termed as friends, that man is never going to trust anybody, including his wife. It's not easy. It's not easy. So Kalonzo trying to think that Gachagua is going to support him is dreaming, and he needs to wake up. There is no marriage. That is all I want to say. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. There is no marriage. That is what Simba is saying, that Kalonzo Musyoka, Gachagua, there is nothing like that. Gachagua was in the leadership, but now he was impeached. The way he is speaking, he might speak like he has that trust with the Kenyans, but still he is really struggling with anger issues. That one I agree with you, Carl Simba. But now, Gachagua is still trying to fight so that he can win back the Kenyans. He's trying to see how he will feature into the hearts of the Kenyans, because most of the Kenyans did not support the impeachment of Gachagua, because the hashtag during the Gen Z protest was Ruto must go. That is the hashtag that was there. There is nowhere we had Gachagua must go. But now, impeachment of Gachagua happened so quick. No one even knew whether this one will happen. But at the end of the day, Gachagua was impeached. We have now the new DP who is Gachagua, whereby Kenyans are saying that Gachagua, we have Kindiki, whereby Kenyans are saying that this is the only person who can help Ruto, and Kindiki is a yes person. Whatever he is instructed to do, he will do that. But now the fight for Mount Kenya is still there. You had even Didi Nyoro, you have Gachagua there, but the allies of Gachagua are still not satisfied. But we saw them earlier. The other day, I saw some of the close friends of Gachagua being invited to the State House by William Ruto. You know, William Ruto is a strategic political genius. By the way, I can say that because he knows how to handle things. But during this impeachment motion of Gachagua, he never spoke. He was silent. He was just having meetings anywhere, but he never spoke to address the issue of impeachment of his only deputy. But recently, we saw them in Western Kenya, whereby they were addressing communities there. They were in Homa Bay, Migori, where we saw Junet Mohammed saying that now this the direction that the president is now taking. He will now support him. That is the time we only saw Junet Mohammed speaking positively to William Ruto, but we have been used to Junet always criticizing. And this is after the broad-based government was formed, whereby the top members of Azimio, they joined the government. But now, this is now the hot era we are having, whereby Kalonzo, Gachagua might come together. That is what they are saying. But at the end of the day, who will be the kingpin of Mount Kenya? Because they need to get someone. Because as they say, when you have the trust of Mount Kenya region, then at the end of the day, general election, you will have easy time. That is how William Ruto came into power, because he discovered that Kindiki has only few number of votes. But if I join with Gachagua, then I will get the large number of votes from the Mount Kenya region. That is how William Ruto took over the leadership. But the fight was still there because the deep state was there. The former president Uhuru Kenyatta was supporting the government. But earlier this week, that was the last weekend, we saw the former president Gachagua, Ruto, Kindiki having the same meeting in Embu. This is what the former president had to say.
So viongozi pia muheshimu wananchi na watarudisha hiyo heshima. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka nifikishie hapo. My friend, my Lord Bishop, unajua sasa hata kama wanakukaribisha hapa, mimi nimepoteza rafiki.
I don't know for I think I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yeah, I was playing for this video. Then I allow you to speak.
Okay.
So viongozi pia muheshimu wananchi na watarudisha hiyo heshima. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka nifikishie hapo. My friend, my Lord Bishop, unajua sasa hata kama wanakukaribisha hapa, mimi nimepoteza rafiki. Siwezi kuwa na mtu nitakuwa tukicheka na yeye. Sasa namuogopa kwa sababu najua amepandishwa cheo. Anaweza kufunga maombi huko juu. So mimi nitakuwa namuangalia sasa kutoka kwa mbali, kwa sababu sasa amekuwa mdosi. Lakini nataka nikuhakikishie, ukisha settle down, anytime unaweza utualike, tuje tuungane na wewe na wenzetu wa Embu, tujenge kanisa la Mungu. Sisi tuko tayari na tutaendelea kushirikiana, na nakuhakikishia mimi sitalete siasa kwa kanisa. Mimi nitakuja mchango tu, ama yale mengine utakuwa unaniitia. Kwa hivyo anytime, always feel free kutukaribisha na sisi tu.
Yes, that is the former president Uhuru Kenyatta when he was speaking. And of course, there are some rumors that state that Uhuru is still active in Kenyan politics, but behind the doors. Do you really support this?
That is for the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta is one man we cannot log out of politics. Uhuru is one political genius. He also studied some political science. You see, not only in Kenya but Africa as a whole, Uhuru commands power. Uhuru went to Nigeria. He helped to put into power Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current president for Nigeria. Uhuru had a hand on that. Uhuru went to Congo and he helped put into power Tshisekedi of Congo, the current president. That whole election process, Uhuru had hand in it. Uhuru went to South Africa and helped put the current Cyril Ramaphosa, the current president, into power. And if you go to my Twitter page, I said this before even the South African elections were held. Even before the South African elections were held, the Congo elections were held, that Julius Malema will lose if Uhuru goes there. The one who is going to become president is Cyril Ramaphosa. Uhuru went and Cyril Ramaphosa was president. In Kenya right now, people do not want to log Uhuru out. He's the least man you expect to log out of politics. He knows what he wants, and he's a businessman. He guards his interest. And this is why I'm saying this. You see, the game for Ruto becoming president in 2022, up to now, I'm still not satisfied. I'm trying to join the puzzle and it is not making any sense. Because you tell me that Uhuru is on the same side with Raila. The puzzle is here. The move was one, arrest Chebukati. And Chebukati did a mistake. Chebukati is in Mombasa, he's supposed to be in Nairobi. That is he's supposed to be arrested. Uhuru tells Raila, wachana na hiyo maneno tutapanga. All the holes that were supposed to be cemented by Uhuru Kenyatta in 2022 for Raila to win, Uhuru did not cement any of them. In fact, even delivering a quarter of votes from Mount Kenya, they did not deliver. Martha Karua did not even get 4 votes from her own polling station, from where she comes from. So all my puzzle still revolves around, it was a long con. Uhuru and Ruto still played the same game that they played against Raila in 2002. So even currently Uhuru still commands the mountain. Let nobody lie to you. Oh, I don't know, Kindiki, Gachagua. Those are just clowns. Those are pawns in this game. The real man of that house is still Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the son of Jomo. If he rose, and this is why I normally tell people that if Uhuru appears somewhere, he still have that kind of a charisma. People still look at him as a president. When he went to Embu, he arrived after the president arrived. That is against the order. It is against the law. He arrived after the president arrived, and everybody stood up, including the president, to go greet Uhuru. That tells you how powerful that man still is. He has not been on media for so long, and when he rode on media just once, mountain had shaken. People were still asking themselves, because the guy was speaking in parables and terminologies that not so many people would understand. What does this guy really mean when he says that barua yangu sio ile envelope ya brown ni ya white? What is he trying to communicate? When he tells you that siku hizi hii makelele mingi na nipatia mimi headache, nitakupatia bahasha yangu na mimi nijiende. So everything Uhuru was trying to say is in parables, and people are still questioning what next Mount Kenya region. For 2027, even if Ruto has already lost legitimacy in Mount Kenya region, trust me, the direction that is going to be taken by the Mount Kenya region in 2027 is going to be determined by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. It is going to be determined by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Even if people say no, let people make noise. Let people say whatever they want to say. But it is Uhuru who is going to make the directives for how the 4 million votes or 5 million votes of Mount Kenya are going to be directed come 2027. So leave alone all these marriages you are seeing around. Oh, Kalonzo is running, I don't know to marry who. I don't know marry Gachagua. I don't know they want to have a meeting with Ndindi Nyoro. I don't know. Let people marry themselves. But at the end of the day, the one who is going to give the directives is Uhuru. People are going to look at it from afar, and they are going to get surprised about the same. Mount Kenya region, I don't want to talk much about that. That is a hot spot. So yes, Uhuru still has a lot of chances to make the political decisions in Kenya. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carl Simba. And of course, we're having this top political discussion here in Africa 24 every day from 10 p.m. That is East African time. We always have this top discussion. So you have to keep a date with us because we're going to give you the best news and also invite you to the studio. So through the link that I've shared there, you can join us and give your views about the topic that we are discussing, the state of nation, the Mount Kenya kingpin, Alonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua marriage, and other stories. But in the comment section, I can see we have a few people who have joined there, and someone is saying that Kikuyu Ruto marriage permanently sealed. If they disown Uhuru, their own, who is Uruto to them? That is a Danson, and Danson is saying that let nobody cheat you that Ruto Kikuyu marriage will be revived. Take that to N Bank. And also, have few people in the comment section there. So if you are following us, you can also send you a text there. We are going to read online in the Afrique 24. And of course, there is something that Kale Simba said about the Nyanza region. It is during this tour where Ruto and Gachagua were having these meetings in Nyanza, Migori, Western, where we saw the likes of Junet really speaking something that can send a signal that in 2027 they can support Ruto. And yet, these are the kind of leaders who really never wanted to see or hear Ruto. After Joe, the likes of Oparanya Wandai joined the government. Now you saw how they changed their direction. And this was a statement that came from some of the leaders. And Oburu Odinga is the brother to Raila Amolo Odinga. I heard him saying that now they are ready to support Ruto because they are seeing now Ruto taking the right direction. You talked about consistency, whereby Kalonzo, you said is not consistent. He will do one or two political rallies and then he will just stop. Now, does it mean that even the Luo region is not consistent? Because this is the region, of course, the ODM comes from the region. Now, most of people support that political party because it is the only strong political party that opposes the government. It pushes the government to deliver. Now, from what we saw during that time, whereby Ruto was in the Nyanza region, does it mean that the Luo region has now taken a U-turn to support Ruto, whereby Kenyans are still trying to reject the Kenya Kwanza government?
Now, that is speaking about the Luo nation. Luos follow the direction that Baba say. If Baba says that I'm going to give you a funny story, kindly laugh, they will laugh. If Baba says that we go south, they'll go south. If Baba says that let us rename Kisumu to Canaan, they'll rename it to Canaan. So Luos are another breed of people who goes where there is interest. Do you know why Luos do what they do? The Luos do what they do because they've been marginal. They feel in the political spectrum they've been marginalized for too long. They've been really fighting for this thing, but they don't get it. So if they get a chance to be part of the government, you don't know how happy those people feel. When they mentioned John Mbadi as the cabinet secretary and Opiyo Wandayi as the cabinet secretary, those people, they were so happy that right now you hear them saying that they are in the government. That is what they've wanted for far too long. And if it happens, let me tell you the scenario where Ruto will be voted in by 90%, 98%, 99.99% from Luoland. If Raila wins AU. If Raila wins AU, if Ruto manages to deliver for Raila to win AU, Luos are going to vote for Ruto like nobody's business. Because what Luos want is they always feel the urge to see Raila lift that Bible and being sworn in. That is all they want. Hawatakangi maneno mingi. Luos ni kama wale the students who are in class but they don't perform well. Each and every exam results wako kule nyuma, wanashindwa tu, wana front mtu wanashindwa tu. So the only time they have for them to be felt in the class is when they make noise. So they have to be the noisiest students in class ndio darasa ifeel oh, kumbe tuko na hawa, because they can't appear among the top 10 best students, wanapia kule nyuma. So they have to make noise in class for other students to feel their presence. So the only way Luos can be felt in this country is through maandamano. And in fact, if you do the statistics of the people wenye walikuwa wamejaa maandamano ya Gen Z ilikuwa Wajaluo. I'm being honest with you. The young Turks who are the Luos were their majority. Because this, if you look at maandamano za Raila, they normally turn out in large numbers. Political rallies, they turn out in large numbers. So right now, they are supporting Ruto because Ruto is supporting one of their own, whom they listen. That is their demigod. They call him the Enigma. If Enigma tells them, we are going left, they are going to go left. So you are not going to experience a bombshell when Raila comes back that he has lost. Those people are going to shift away from Ruto like swarm of bees. So you cannot say that Luos are supporting Ruto that they like him. Why so sudden? They only like him right now because Ruto is playing by their drums. As a matter of fact, right now Ruto is trying to, there is a notice that has been made in State House 24 hours ago of the list of new PS that are going to be put into power. And Raila fronted half of that number to the president. PS positions. So imagine Ruto bringing in some other more PS from the ODM chamber. Those people are even going to like him more. But they can only dislike him if Raila tells the Luos, I want you to dislike Ruto. See, one thing about Raila and Luos, if Raila tells them, today I don't want you to love Boni, just dislike Boni, never hear anything Boni is saying. They're going to dislike Boni because Baba has said. That is one thing I don't like about my Luo people. They do not take their time to formulate something to think. Someone else think for them. So as a matter of fact, for 2027, and the love of Luos towards Ruto is temporary. It is not a permanent love. That love is temporary, just the way it was temporary in 2007. He shifted, they disliked him. Right now, they like him again after another 10 years. They want to 14 years, I mean, they want to say they like him again. So it is temporary because of what he's bringing on the table. Politics is a game of interest. And my Luo brothers know how to play it, especially when you are dancing to the tune of Aguambo. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Kale Simba is saying that when Raila speaks, then the Luo will just shift to that direction. Now they're happy because the likes of Bandi, the likes of Wandai, and the government, they are now seeing Ruto as the right person to lead this government. So if Raila wins the 2025 AU chairmanship, then that is the time Ruto will get the full support for ODM and the Kenya Kwanza, that is the Nyanza region. Nyanza region, and of course, the likes of, I was shocked by the way to hear Junet and Oburu Odinga speaking. Junet, I heard that clip and I'm going to look for it, whereby Junet was saying that now, Ruto, you are going in the right direction. If you continue this way, then we are going to support you in 2027. I heard that clip from Junet Mohammed. Now we have the fight whereby there is on last week when the ODM had that meeting in Oma Bay. I heard Junet, the same Junet, saying that anyone else who is going to say that is going to inherit the ODM leadership, he must. That was what he said. He must pass by him. And Baba being in Ethiopia doesn't mean that he's not going to be actively involved in the Kenyan politics. So you can be in Ethiopia, but still get active in this Kenyan politics. That is what Junet had to say. And of course, Baba Wino has been saying that wherever Baba has been there, he has shown him the direction. He has shown him the ways to lead this country. Now, the fight for ODM has been there. ODM has been there. Loyal followers has been there. Baba Wino, as you said, that he might form his own political party that can split the ODM. And if they split, then, you know, some of the Luos are going to support Baba, others are going to support Baba Wino. Do you think that Baba Wino can be the right person to inherit the ODM leadership if only Baba wins the AU chairmanship? Or who do you think is the right person? Because Baba cannot be just he cannot just be having these local politics, and he has been crowned at the AU chair. You need to get someone else. Do you think that Babu Wino has the right qualities to become the next leader of the ODM, or he is still a young politician? Because this is the only political party that pressurizes the government. If ODM has a congregation somewhere, then you will see a lot of people pulling out to attend the congregation. Do you think that Babu Wino has the right attributes to become the leader of ODM? And if not him, who do you think can be the next leader of ODM?
That is a very good question. Now, Babu Owino is the correct person who can take over ODM, but he is not the right person who should take over ODM based on the current circumstances. Why am I saying this? You see, all the ODM talks, first of all, about Junet Mohammed. You see, if we look at the political prowess of Babu Owino compared to that of Junet Mohammed cannot be compared to Babu. Babu is far much better than Junet Mohammed. Speaking of facts and ground works, Babu is far much better than Junet, because Babu is a national figure. Babu is someone who can go campaign in any part of this country and is not going to be stoned by anybody. But they are part of this country. Junet cannot rally alone. Babu has tried rallying alone. He has tried achieving it. But now, taking over ODM means that you are taking over Luo land. We have to agree on that, because ODM is entirely affiliated with the Luos. It's a Luo affair. So Babu cannot take over ODM if he does not even have a quarter of the members of parliament of ODM backing him up. It is not easy. You see, I said that you have to have machineries. And for him to take over Luo land, he must have at least half of the members of parliament from ODM backing up what he's trying to do, or even the members of county assemblies from ODM, meaning from Nyanza region, backing him up. But he is not hitting that. So what does Babu depend on? Babu depend on the ground, the people, which is entirely is not bad, but you can never trust the people. You see, it is very easy to work with someone who has a prize. A member of parliament, a politician is someone who has a prize. Because someone who has a prize, you already know their stand. You know whether they are ambitious or not ambitious. You will know that somebody like, if today somebody is like Millie Odhiambo decides to back up Babu Owino, that is for a sure fact that we know she's going to back up Babu because she's a politician, she has a price tag. We know that Millie, you compare 1 billion, she's going to keep quiet. But you can never back your trust on the people. They can shift at a moment you expect them to stand with you the most. So Babu Owino, what he ought to have done, let him test the waters. Currently, Luo land, the reason, let me tell you the reason why you find that Luos, some section of the Luos are supporting Babu Owino. Because the reason why Babu Owino is managing to beat all these other politicians is because Babu is ambitious. But these other Luo politicians are not ambitious. The reason why they are not ambitious is because they've engulfed themselves, or rather indulged themselves, or rather engrossed themselves under the wings of Raila Amolo Odinga in the ODM political party. You see, the moment you are under the ODM, you can never be ambitious, because your ambitions should go as further as vying for presidency, and you cannot do that because Agwambo is still there. Agwambo wants that presidency. So Luos love this guy. Some section of Luos love Babu Owino because he's ambitious and he sees that he can bring this thing home to the Luos. And there are three groups of Luos currently in Nyanza. There are three categories of Luos. There are Luos, you see, there are Luos who are backing up Raila Odinga, who are even ready to bomb themselves. If Raila say, meza bomb na wende ulipuke KICC, they are ready to do that. Luo followers to Raila is a cult. They are like Al-Shabaab. There are loyal soldiers who are Raila on the ground, who are ready to chop them. Somebody can take a panga and chop off his neck. We've seen this thing happening before. Because Raila has lost the election, somebody hung themselves. That is the first group of people. The second group of people are the minority who are supporting Babu Owino, who are trying to push him. Chini ya maji, go, young man, go, you can change something. So you find that Babu Owino is trying to use the same tactic Raila Odinga used against his father Oginga Odinga. Raila felt that under the wings of Oginga Odinga, he'll not be ambitious, and he was an ambitious man. He has to step out. And that is the reason you saw him chasing away people, like fighting people like Kijana Wamalwa in Ford, Kenya. You can remember the Thika culmination. That is the same play card that Babu Owino is trying to implement. But remember, Raila had people. Raila consolidated member of parliaments against his father, which Babu is not doing. That is the second group of people supporting Babu Owino, and they are the minority. And then there are another group of people who are, they don't know what to do. They are just there to support Babu ama to support Raila. What should we do? There are people who are, Raila still niwetu, but we need change. They are confused. They don't know what to do. So on the matters arising in Nyanza as of now, it is only going to be determined whether Babu Owino has the balls to launch his political party. Obviously, when you launch your political party and you are from Nyanza with that kind of ruthlessness and zeal and zest and the kind of fame that Babu Owino has, it clearly indicates that he has officially gone against Raila Odinga and the entire ODM brigade. That is the only time we'll have a determination to make. But as of now, you might not know, maybe it's even just a PR. Babu is trying to do some PR, but he's fully indulged in old game. The moment that guy is going to launch his political party and do 1 or 3 campaigns in Nyanza, that is when I'll know that he's a man on a mission and he has no luxury to surrender and he's ready to take over Luo land. For 2032, of course, when he wants to vie for presidency, or rather the other in the other coming endeavors. But you can't compare people like Junet Mohammed. You can't trust Junet Mohammed. In fact, if you want to know the people who are really praying that Raila loses, AU is Junet Mohammed. Those are one of the people. The members of parliament from Nyanza are really working hard to make sure Raila loses AU, because they know if Raila goes there, you see, they are always used to this, what we call it, kuinuana mkono from Nyanza. Raila comes and lifts up your hand that huyu ametosha hapa and people are going to vote for you. That is how that is how cast Nyanza is. Even you, Boni, today, you just go and talk well with Baba and feed him, because Baba likes somebody who feeds him well the way he wants. He's going to lift your hand in even a small constituency like Kasipul constituency and say, "We will torture," and you will be the member of parliament. You will beat the MP who has been there for even 3 terms. That is how people like Senator Ojienda became senators. Ojienda was not even to become senator of Kisumu. Baba lifted up his hand and people voted for him. He didn't even campaign. In fact, Ojienda only did one campaign rally. You see, that is what has been happening in Nyanza. So that is why people like Junet, they know if Raila goes, chances of them coming back, people re-electing them, is going to be the toughest. The toughest. So they want Raila to be here so that they can continue exploiting and using him. So you can't compare people like Junet and Babu. Babu is really trying on his own, though he's a thug. Everybody knows that he has some thuggery behaviors. In politics, you just need those thuggery behaviors to proceed. Otherwise, they log you out as soon as possible. Let him try. For the people who are ready to support him, they'll support him. I don't want to speak much of Nyanza politics and Raila's brigades. You see, those people, I don't want to talk about them completely. The Opoda brigades. But otherwise, for Babu Owino, he still has a chance. He has a lot of limiting factors because in Luoland, when he wants to be the kingpin of Luoland and is married to a Kikuyu, you see, those are the other limiting factors. Luos want that when they're appointing you as a kingpin, your wife is a Luo, and that is what they've been telling Babu Owino since time immemorial, that you should get married to a Luo so that we can put you the kingpin of Luoland with immediate effect, because they don't want a woman from Kikuyu land to come and preside over them in the name of she's the wife to their kingpin. Obviously, a woman from Kikuyu land will be their kingpin, and that is one of the limiting factors that the Luos, the section of Luos, are beating Babu Owino with. Otherwise, for proceedings of Luo Nyanza politics and what Babu Owino is planning with his brigades, we will witness that once he launches his political party. That one will have, it will be evident that he has the balls to take over Raila, whose shoes are so massive that nobody can easily take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Saying that we will witness this if Babu Owino launches his own political party. And that is when we will know if he is qualified for taking over from Raila Amolo Odinga. And also making sure that he owns the that is the Luo nation.
But I want to say we came here for the function to recognize the official launching of the chairmanship of Gladys Wanga. Gladys Wanga is a great lady. She has a lot of wisdom and a lot of strength. And I support, and I really want to thank Baba for having recognized her and her ability to be the chair of this party. ODM. Jodalawa. Adwani monda wachni wacha chiel kende. Adwani monda nyisu ni wan kwadhi nyime. Kwadhi nyime. To gima duong' manyaka wamaki mwadongo kende. Iluongo ni chama marwa mar ODM. Kawawe chama mechamo bedo mayom yom. To onge kaka jomoko biro luoro wa kendo jomoko biro chayo wa. Ng'at moro nyocha uneno ka wan jo ODM kanyocha ne wadhi mbele kacha. Nyocha wa impeach ng'ama iluongo ni Gachagua. To wan gima gilaro gi Ruto wan wakia. Wan gima nyocha wa impeach, wan nyocha wakwer ni mondo dhi dala nikech owacho ni wan ok wan shareholders. Ni en gi jo share mamage. But we want to tell the Kikuyu community that the Luo community has no problem with you. The problem we have is only with Gachagua, because he is talking of shares and is saying that all the Luos are non-shareholders. And therefore, you give us somebody else to lead, not that man who is discriminatory, who is openly going against the Constitution of Kenya, and who is shamelessly discriminating other people against the Constitution. We know that Gladys Wanga is going to work well, and she is going to help to consolidate our party and we want our party to be our anchor, to be our insurance, to be our only protector against any invaders. So hapa na wacho numatin go nikech koth aneno kosedonjo. Erokamano uru jo Homa Bay. Amor gi chiemo.
Aya, wewe kora miu.
Yeah, that is Oburu Odinga, who is the brother to Raila Amolo Odinga. And he spoke about the impeachment of Gachagua, whereby he is saying the Luo doesn't have problem with the Kikuyus. The only problem they have with Kikuyu is because of Gachagua, whereby he is discriminatory, and he talks about division of tribes, whereby he was impeached, by the way, because of that tribalistic comments that he was making during the events, congregations. But now, you even stated that the Luos believe that ODM is their center. You have to be the main person in that area so that you can get the support from the region. But of course, the Kikuyus are still asking, why are we having this kind of movement, whereby Raila is having this broad-based together with Ruto, and the Kikuyus were impeached? Do you think that Raila top members joining the government is the main reason that really contributed to Gachagua impeachment? Because they said Gachagua and Raila, they have not been having good times together. You saw during the climate summit in the last year, KICC, where Gachagua was saying that they made a good seat for the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, but when he came, he didn't even want to know whether they are the president who are seated there. He went direct, but Gachagua complained. He said that mzee anakuja pale, yeye sio rais, hajachaguliwa na anakuja direct kwa wale marais. Alikuwa anauliza shida ya mzee ni nini? So, do you really have this thought that maybe Gachagua was impeached because Raila joined in a secretive way? He had this handshake, although it was not declared, but having Joe, Badi, Wandai, or Paranya joining as CS, then you know that Raila has really joined. Do you really have this thought that Gachagua impeachment was because Raila just came in with his top members? And you know they have been going all around with Ruto as they campaign for the chairmanship of AU.
Now, thank you very much. For the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua were caused by two things, or might have been caused by two things. The first thing was the instant when, you see, the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was formulated even before the Gen Z's protests. Why am I saying this? Because Raila had handshake with Ruto even before the Gen Z protest. The handshake was already calculated back in 2024 before the Gen Z protests. And for this handshake, Raila was to work with Ruto under one condition: Gachagua has to go. Those people could not sit under one team. So the first reason why Gachagua might have been impeached was the move he made during the Gen Z protest on 25th June, when the Gen Z broke to the parliament. While the president was trying to fight for his life to save his government, the deputy president ran to do a press conference in Mombasa. Likely, Gachagua knew that, or thought that, the Gen Z protest had already ousted Ruto. Ruto was to resign or Ruto was to run away. Because Ruto actually, by the way, he ran away from State House. Immediately the Gen Z broke over the parliament, they were to, if they could have managed to run all the way to State House, Ruto would have been ousted. And that is what Gachagua was waiting for, so that he can declare himself president with immediate effect. That was the reason that press conference was called in Mombasa. Because you can remember, he called for a press conference in Mombasa at exactly 4 p.m. in the evening. His main intention was to declare himself president immediately after Ruto has been ousted. But then his plans did not go through. Now that he had already called for press, he had to tell people why he called for that press. That is why the press delayed for almost more than 45 minutes. Then he came out with a very short speech that did not make sense, trying to tell people, oh, let us be our brother's keeper. Let us not try to overturn the government. Immediately, Ruto also calls for a press conference at night with a speech that has been extracted from ChatGPT. I think you can all remember that. So
Yeah.
the intelligence unit informed Ruto about what was about to happen. And when he learned that Gachagua, because trust me, Gachagua also, in the last minute, he played a little role on the Gen Z protest by financing some people, some key individuals, some key activists. Money also played during this Gen Z protest. Money was a figure that was also used. Then he learned about it. Ruto is one person who does not sit with people who are trying to backstab him. They had to let him go. That is one reason why Gachagua might have been impeached is this. In 2022, remember Gachagua was never an option. Kindiki was the option for deputizing Ruto. Kindiki was the option. Gachagua was never the option. So when people sat on the table in Karen and money was now into play, you see, it reaches a point where everybody is powerful. Now, the only way you have to select the more powerful person is by choosing them by their finances. And that is where they realized Gachagua is seriously loaded. They went for Gachagua. Kenya Kwanza, Ruto chose Gachagua because of how he was loaded. And he was to play some key roles in his politics using his money. But remember, there might have been a decision that was made in 2022 that Gachagua akule 2.5, Kindiki akule 2.5. That might have been something that was discussed. Or Gachagua akule 5, Kindiki akule 5. It is possible they might have discussed. So for the 2.5 ya Gachagua ilifaa kuisha saa hii. Ukiangalia hii time amekuwa impeached, inaisha tu kama hii 2.5 inaisha. But then you might realize they had to forge something ikae ni kama ukweli huu jamaa anatoka, because you can't tell me a deputy president will just call for a press conference to say that he has resigned so that Kindiki to take over. If they truly agreed that akule 2.5, Kindiki 2.5, they had to formulate a way on how hiyo 2.5 ya Gachagua inaisha. And Gachagua cannot just call a press to say that I've resigned. He will be questioned. In fact, international media stations will also question, how does a deputy president from a renowned country like Ghana just resigned without even saying the reason he's resigned? People will question. A lot of books will be on the records to be played. So I think, because I started by saying nothing happens by coincidence in politics. If something happens, it was well planned and calculated. So you might find that the impeachment of Gachagua was actually planned to give him at least a prominent send-off. Isikuwe tu this guy was weak, kazi ilimshinda akaresign. And that is why you saw this guy trying to fight to the last minute so that he can send an idea outside there that is resilient and he cannot go down easily. He is a leader. So you might find that it was calculated, because if you are telling me that Gachagua was honestly impeached, why then does he still have a chance to vie in 2027? And that is against the constitution. If you are impeached, you are not supposed to vie. Unaenda kama umeendanga. Why is it that he's still being pardoned that he can vie in 2027? And the same court that is pardoning him is being controlled by the president. You see, the president has held the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. There's no separation of power. He has held all those positions under his armpits, and he controls every wing of it. These same courts that the president controls is pardoning the Gachagua that he can still have a chance to vie in 2027. So it means it might have been another long con to buy time and to divert attention of the people from these Adani scandals and all this SHIF and SHA. These are the scandals that are happening. So we might find out that these people are even still together, but Gachagua has to also formulate his own plan because of the agreement. You might find the agreement they made, you will return your money plus some extra profit, bas, the story is done. Because you cannot tell me that they want to impeach Gachagua because of corruption, because he owns some hotels, I don't know from where. The most corrupt individual in the government is the president. He ought to have been the one to be impeached even before the deputy president is impeached. So this might be another long con that was played. And to the matter of fact, if it was a long con, then trust me that Ruto is using the ODM brigades, Raila. Because the people who played the bigger role in this matter of impeaching Gachagua were the ODM. Impeach huyu jamaa tutawapatia hii. You might find out that this was some other impeachment long con game. Uhuru meeting with Gachagua and Ruto in Embu with Kindiki, it was not just a meeting. Nothing happens by coincidence. Nothing happens by coincidence. You might even come to realize that maybe Uhuru was coming to fact and coming to terms that is now ushering Kindiki as the official deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, as the Mount Kenya kingpin. He went there and addressed Kindiki and said that let us stand and abide by what the deputy president Kindiki has said. You replay that video, you'll hear Uhuru saying, he did not greet Gachagua, he did not greet any other person, but he said that let us abide by what the deputy president is saying. Tuheshimiane so that we can protect our nation. That might have been a call for all of them to meet together to usher in Kindiki as the official deputy president and as a follower, or rather, the spokesperson for Mount Kenya region. Gachagua did not even sit among the prominent individuals hapo mbele. Alikaa nyuma kwenye watu wanakaa huko. So the impeachment of Gachagua, there is still a lot of things to be questioned there, that we are still going to join those dots later on as time goes by. But I don't think that the ODM brigades were the ones who calculated the impeachment of Gachagua. No. The impeachment of Gachagua was calculated by the real oligarchs who ran the government and not the ODM brigades. They were just used, they were just pawns in the whole of that game. And they are going to be blamed for that in the near future. Ruto knows how to play the game. He bounced the ball to ODM so that he can remain pure. He will say, it is the ODM brigades who did this and this. He even offered them key positions which are very serious. A president offering opposition treasury is not a joke. Offering them a position like energy, ya stima ya Adani, is not a joke. And that is why you've been seeing it is Opiyo Wandayi who's being sent to make speeches about Adani, sanitizing how Adani electricity is good. And on the other hand, Mbadi is killing people with the taxes. He's the treasurer. Ruto is going to play blame games on these people at the end of the day. Walinifinya nikawapatia ile key positions walikuwa nataka wakaribu serikali. We are not keen. So it's a political master chess that we have to sit down and calculate very well if we want to oust Ruto for 2027. Otherwise, there are a lot of cards on play. The house of cards is still shaking, and it is bound to fall to carry the whole bandage with him. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. And of course, you have really given us very key points. You said about 2.5, and they had to look for a very unique reason to impeach Gachagua. Because personally, I've been questioning myself, why is Gachagua still active in this meeting? Being impeached, it shows how weak are you. You cannot just wake up and from being a deputy to being an employed person. Impeachment that just happened in just 1 month, and then that is the end of Gachagua. And now Gachagua is very happy having this impeachment motion that happened very quickly. And now he's very happy in these church meetings. I saw him addressing the congregation in church, whereby he was saying that youth, please go and take your votes, go and register. It's like he has hopes for 2027 general election. So I'm very sure Ekale Simba really spoke something that is very sensitive there. And of course, that is something that really needs to be weighed. And if you're following us for the first time, remember this is Afrique 24. You can join us through the comment section, through the link. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is the sister station. Go to YouTube, search Afrique 24, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are all in the social media platforms. You get news there every day, every day, every day. We have shows here, and you will be entertained after every end of the day. So I was just questioning myself, why do we have Gachagua being very happy in these meetings? I saw him in a church whereby he was saying, please go and register for your votes. Go and register, because in 2027 we want to show them that we are ready. And he was also questioning that if he was the bad, then the government should deliver. This is a short clip on what Gachagua had to say. I have this clip for Gachagua speaking without fear.
Quote. And the churches must be allowed to regulate themselves. Sisi wengine wote tukuja kanisani, praise and worship, tusikize sermon, tutoe sadaka, turudi nyumbani. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu. Ukiwa chief, ukiwa police, wewe kuja, sikiza. Kama iko praise and worship, if you can sing, kuja uimbe. Ukimaliza utoe sadaka, uende nyumbani. Si iko namna hiyo? That is the way it must be. Tafadhali tusiende hiyo barabara. Hiyo ni barabara ya kupotea, ya kujibisana na kanisa, kuingilia kanisa, kutaka kujua ati sermon itakuwa juu ya nini. These men of God, they know, they read the Bible, they only interpret the Bible every Sunday differently. Vile Mungu amewaonesha. Na tukifanya namna hiyo itakuwa sawa sawa. So, mimi sina maneno mengi, yangu tu ni kusema asante sana. I want to thank the people of Kajiado North kwa maombi yenu. Umeniombea sana. Na mimi sina stress, mimi nimerelax vizuri sana. Si ndio? Hasa hakuna mtu analaumu kwa ile shida iko Kenya. Wengine walaumiwe wajibu. Mimi ni mtu sasa ya kuangalia. Hata Uhuru Kenyatta, president wetu, jana alisema yeye anaangalia TV, anasikiza radio. Hata mimi naangalia TV, nasikiza radio. Wacha wale wanaendesha wafanye nini? Lakini waheshimu viongozi wetu wa kidini. Let us see and wait and see how things are going. Kama Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa shida, ndio mlikuwa mnaweka ushuru ikuwe juu, mpunguze sasa vile ametoka. Si iko namna hiyo? Yes. Hizi barabara zote zimesimama, kama Edi alikuwa amesimamisha, simumalize. Si ndio? These things, you know Kenyans are very intelligent people. Kenyans are very intelligent people. And I think a lot of people are taking Kenyans for granted. These Kenyans know everything. Kwetu wanasema madoma amebasha. Niguo. Ni mwana madoma amebasha. Kule ndo mtoi. Na ndio mimi nilisema kama kiongozi. Siku tumesumbuliwa, watu wetu karibu na kasirika, naambia hapana. Wafuasi wengi wangu are business people, ni watu ya biashara, watu ya kutafuta mali, ni watu ya kujenga. Mimi siwezi kubali kuambia watu haribu mali, kwa sababu wafuasi yangu ndio wenye kutafuta mali, ndio wenye kuchunga mali. Mimi nitakuwa mjinga. I'll be a very stupid leader to ask my supporters to destroy property which is theirs. Nilisema tu watu wanyamaze. Mukire ki na mutikarie. But if you feel you have to express yourself in song and dance. Kati uo. Ukigwa ni wahiukirwo ri. Uguthithie kirwimbo. Ni uguo. Hawa viongozi huyu Gogoyo kuja hapa na senator. I want to talk because ndio nimalize.
That is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Gachagua, speaking, and he was saying that he is never to be complained that he is now the person who is making this government to go astray. He is saying that now it is their mandate to make the government go and deliver to the Kenyans. But now we are asking, as we head to the State of Nation, the State of Nation is set to happen tomorrow, and Kenyans want to know how far the government has delivered, how far the government is making sure that it will work and carry on development. Remember, this is Africa 24. You are joining us for the first time. We have been here for the last 2 hours. Gipsikona, you are my good friend. You'll go to heaven. Umenipotelea sana, lakini ni sawa tu. Tafuta. In the comment section, you can also join us there, and we are also having this discussion, the state of the nation. The state of nation is something that is going to happen on Thursday. Kenya, and as they want to occupy the street of Nairobi, they are questioning, is the government heading in the right direction? Is the government heading in the right direction? That is what we are asking here. And still, if you can join us through the comment section there, and you are joining us for the first time, go in our YouTube channel, like, comment, and subscribe to Africa 24. We are live on social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Africa 24. We are having a lot of things that are being said concerning the government, but William Ruto promised that he will make this government work, transforming the government from analog to digital, from old government to modernized government. It is what we are having. Gypsy Corner saying that I am always here, Boniface. I know you are always here. Gypsy Corner, that was just a joke. Tomorrow I will be just indoors playing some music, editing news for Africa 24. But anyway, we are waiting to see what is going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, they give us news. The news, we will get them here live in Africa 24, because we unlock stories from all over the world. If you are joining us for the first time, this is Africa 24, political discussion, and I'm your host, Bonnie, and we have been having these good times for the last 2 hours. Always keep yourself entertained, keep yourselves active, and have this time in Africa 24 all the days.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sisi sote wana Yesu.